Welcome, kindred spirits, to a place of positivity, passion, and purpose. Welcome to our video on Dale Hunter. We're thrilled to have you here. Dale Robert Hunter, born July 31, 1960, is a Canadian former professional ice hockey player and the former head coach of the Washington Capitals of the National Hockey League and current co-owner, president, and head coach of the London Knights of the Ontario Hockey League. He was born in Petrolia, Ontario, but grew up in nearby 13 Oil Springs, Ontario. He is the middle of three Hunter brothers, with older brother Dave and younger brother Mark, to play in the NHL. In this section, we'll be deep diving into Quebec Nordiques, unraveling its complexities and uncovering valuable insights. He was selected 41st overall by the Quebec Nordiques in the 1979 NHL entry draft. He would begin his NHL career a year later in 1980 and played 7 years with the Nordiques. According to his former Quebec Nordiques coach Michel Bergeron, even though Hunter was nicknamed the nuisance on ice, la petite peste in French, he was known to be humble in the dressing room and a sort of gentleman, close to all the players. He was the perfect player, always the first to arrive at practice and ready to do all his best for the team. Thanks to his charisma, Hunter was a fan favorite in both Quebec and Washington. His leaving Quebec was seen as an obvious mistake linked to the team's future decline. At the end of the, Hunter was traded to the Washington Capitals along with Clint Malarchuk in return for 2 players and a 1987 first-round draft pick. The Nordiques then used to select Joe Sakic. As we enter this new chapter, let's navigate the complexities of Washington Capitals and unravel its multifaceted nature. Hunter played for 12 seasons with the Washington Capitals, serving as team captain from 1994 to 1999. In the 1988 Patrick Division semifinals between the Capitals and Philadelphia Flyers, Hunter scored one of the biggest goals in Caps history. That goal was scored on a breakaway at 5:57, beating Ron Hextall and gave Washington the win. During the Washington Capitals season, younger brother Mark briefly joined Hunter with the Capitals, playing 7 games with the club. In the 1993 Patrick Division semifinals between the Capitals and New York Islanders, Hunter led his team with 7 postseason goals. That performance was marred by an illegal and potentially career-ending check on Islanders star Pierre Turgeon. This illegal check occurred after Turgeon had stolen an errant pass of Hunter's and subsequently scored. As Turgeon was celebrating, Hunter came up from behind and checked the unaware Turgeon into the boards, leading to a concussion and a separated right shoulder. As a result of the incident, Hunter was suspended for the first 21 games of the season as part of new Commissioner Gary Bettman's effort to crack down on violent play. He played in the 1997 NHL All-Star Game. Hunter broke the 1,000 points barrier during the, becoming the NHL record holder for requiring the most games to do so by a forward, at 1,308. The record stood until Patrick Morley achieved the feat in his 1,349th game. During the, Hunter holds the record for the player with the most penalty minutes to have scored 1,000 or more points. In 1998, he led the 4th-seeded Capitals to their first appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals, defeating the Boston Bruins, Ottawa Senators, and Buffalo Sabres in the earlier rounds. In the finals, the Capitals were swept by the defending Cup champion Detroit Red Wings, with the first 3 games being decided by 1 goal. In March 1999, at the trade deadline for the, Hunter was traded back to his original franchise, albeit since relocated and renamed the Colorado Avalanche. Welcome to the next segment, where we explore Colorado Avalanche and its significance in our journey. Hunter finished the season with the Colorado Avalanche, the successor to the Nordiques. He helped the team reach that season's Western Conference Finals, losing in 7 games to the eventual Stanley Cup champion Dallas Stars. On that team, he often played on the same line as 2 other renowned pest role players Claude Lemieux and Thuran Fleury. Hunter retired at the end of that playoff run, after 19 full seasons in the NHL. In this chapter, we'll be unraveling the enigma of post-NHL and discovering its transformative power. Hunter's sweater number was retired by the Capitals on March 11, 2000. During the ceremony, the Capitals presented Hunter with one of the penalty boxes from the Capitol Center, the Capitals' former home arena, symbolic of his exceptional amount of time served for penalties. In 2000, Hunter and his brother, Marcus, a former NHL player, teamed up with Dale's former teammate on the Nordics, Basil McRae, to buy the London Knights of the Ontario Hockey League. Dale became team president and head coach. He led the Knights to the 2005 and 2016 Memorial Cup. On January 1, 2006, the Hunter brothers were named to the 2006 Mayor's New Year's Honours List for Sports by the City of London, Ontario. Hunter's older brother Dave Hunter is also a foreman. His son Dylan Hunter is an assistant coach for the Knights, and his other son Tucker also played for the London Knights before pursuing his education at the University of Western Ontario. On November 28, 2011, Hunter resigned his position as head coach of the Knights to take the same position with the Washington Capitals, succeeding Bruce Boudreau. His brother Mark then took over as Knights coach. Hunter's defense-oriented system caused some conflict with star Alexander Ovechkin, but it helped the struggling Capitals make the playoffs, where they upset the defending Stanley Cup champions Boston Bruins in the first round before being eliminated by the New York Rangers, both postseason series going to 7 games. On May 14, 2012, Hunter announced he was not returning to coach the Capitals in the 2012-2013 season, choosing instead to return to the London Knights. On May 14, 2019, Hockey Canada named Hunter as the head coach for Canada's national junior team at the 2020 IIHF World Junior Championship. Hunter guided the team to the gold medal with a dramatic come-from-behind victory over Russia in the final game. Get ready to immerse yourself in the world of accolades and controversy as we examine its impact and relevance. With amassing a staggering 3,565 penalty minutes, Hunter currently has the second most penalty minutes in NHL history, after Dave "Tiger" Williams, although Hunter played 1,407 games to Williams' 962. He also holds the NHL record for most penalty minutes in the playoffs, at 731. The Capitals retired his No. 32 jersey. Hunter is the only NHL player ever to score over 1,000 points and rack up over 3,000 penalty minutes, 1,020 points and 3,565 PIMs over 1,407 NHL games. He scored in overtime for Quebec in Game 5 of their 1982 opening round best-of-5 series versus the Montreal Canadiens, and in 1988 scoring against Ron Hextall on a breakaway in overtime for Washington in Game 7 of their opening round best-of-7 series versus the Philadelphia Flyers, making Hunter the first player in NHL history to score 2 overtime series-clinching goals in the playoffs. In July 2006, Hunter was arrested and charged with DUI. The charges were dropped when the presiding judge ruled that his rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms were violated for unlawful detention and being denied his right to his lawyer. In September 2005, Hunter was suspended by the Ontario Hockey League for 4 games after a player left the bench to initiate a fight in an exhibition game. On January 20, 2006, Hunter was suspended for 2 games and his team was fined $5,000 for Hunter's off-ice abuse of the officials. In May 2006, Hunter was fined $5,000 by the OHL for criticizing officials after the Knights were eliminated from the playoffs in 4 straight games. In September 2006, Hunter was suspended by the OHL for 2 games after forward Matt Davis left the bench to engage in a fight during a game. OHL rules state that there is an automatic suspension for both the player and the coach if a player leaves the bench to become involved in an altercation. Now, let's shift our focus to Pierre Turgeon incident and embark on an intellectual exploration of its various dimensions. Late in the deciding Game 6 of the 1993 Patrick Division semi-finals between the Capitals and New York Islanders, Pierre Turgeon stole the puck from Hunter and scored, putting the game out of reach. Hunter, who was trailing Turgeon on the play, checked Turgeon from behind well after the goal as he started to celebrate. Turgeon sustained a separated shoulder from the hit, causing him to miss all but Game 7 against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the second round, as well as most of the series against the Montreal Canadiens in the conference finals. New NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman, who had earlier promised to crack down on violence, suspended Hunter for the first 21 games of the season at the time, the longest suspension in league history for an on-ice incident in terms of games missed. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of career statistics. Bold italics indicates NHL record. Brace yourselves for the next chapter, where we'll be dissecting playing career. Regular season playoffs season team lead GPG Kitchener Rangers OMJHL 68-22 Sudbury Wolves OMJHL 59-42 Sudbury Wolves OMJHL 61-34 Quebec Nordicus NHL 80-19 Quebec Nordicus NHL 80-22 Quebec Nordicus NHL 80-17 Quebec Nordicus NHL 77-24 Quebec Nordicus NHL 80-20 Quebec Nordicus NHL 80-28 Quebec Nordicus NHL 46-10 Washington Capitals NHL 79-20 Washington Capitals NHL 80-20 Washington Capitals NHL 80-23 Washington Capitals NHL 76-16 Washington Capitals NHL 80-28 Washington Capitals NHL 84-20 Washington Capitals NHL 52-9 Washington Capitals NHL 45-8 Washington Capitals NHL 82-13 Washington Capitals NHL 82-14 Washington Capitals NHL 80-8 Washington Capitals NHL 50-0 Colorado Avalanche NHL 12-2 NHL totals 1,407 323 697 1,020. Let's now zoom in on NHL and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. Team year regular season post-season GWLOTL Washington Capitals 2011-12 60-30 NHL totals 60-30. Get ready to immerse yourself in the world of OHL as we examine its impact and relevance. Team year regular season post-season TWLT London Knights 50-19 London Knights 68-31 London Knights 68-53 London Knights 68-59 London Knights 68-49 London Knights 68-50 London Knights 68-38 London Knights 68-49 London Knights 68-49 London Knights 68-34 London Knights 26-20 London Knights 68-50 London Knights 68-49 London Knights 68-40 London Knights 68-51 London Knights 68-46 London Knights 68-39 London Knights 68-46 London Knights 62-45 London Knights 68-39 London Knights 68-45 total 1360 to 901 361. Share this video with your friends and spread the knowledge.